So hello everyone. Today we have one of the PMP participant with us, and we are exploring some of the exam preparational challenges. And especially this is important because now last week only the new PMP exam got in effect. So in a way, we are also exploring how one should approach to a new PMP when they have already given a PMP before, and what kind of an incremental preparation one has to do. Okay, let's get started. Tell me about your exam experience and things.
Yeah, hi. So I gave my exam on this 26th of December in
Mhm.
2020, and the result was something that I was not expecting because I was expecting that I should clear in this attempt, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to. And one of the concerns that I saw was that some of the so basically I was looking online for a lot of questions, the sample questions, and I found some questions, and some of those questions actually appeared in the exam.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, maybe the option that I selected was correct or not, because when I discussed the same question on the forum, like I got reply that this should not be the right answer, or the question is a bad question. Now since in PM like, exam we don't have the option to see the questions, so I'm not able to analyze whether my that particular question got like correct or did it went wrong, because there's no way of knowing it, uh, what actually happened with that question.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one of the things I want, because like in my first attempt I tried to keep myself away from sample questions. In my second attempt I found out like a lot of online questions, and there were
Mm-hmm.
actually some questions in the actual exam, but there was no way to verify or validate whether the answers of those questions were correct or not,
Sure,
because
sure. Got your point. Mm-hmm.
when I used my discretion to find the right answer, then when I saw the answer online, it was different. And when
Okay,
I
okay.
put that
Mm-hmm.
question on the forum, I think Manish sir responded some of them that your approach is correct, but some of
Mm-hmm.
them replied that this question is not a good question. So I have no way of knowing whether my
Sure,
questions
sure, sure.
were correct or not.
Yeah. See, what that's a one thing, and maybe someone based on, for example, someone gave the PMP exam, and kind of it's not legally right to do that, but I am suspecting someone might have noted those questions as per their memory, and usually the questions which were tricky, which were confusing, usually remains in the head. So maybe some of those questions remain in the individual head, and then based on that someone created the answer, but there is no way to know what was the PMI appropriate answer for that question. And it might be just a test question, especially when we talk about our previous exam. So we don't know exactly what is the case. And any mock exam maker will use his judgment or her judgment only. So I think don't think too much about that. What I invite you to look at, so we look at your 5 domains, and I can see initiating and executing processes were the weak area. Though in the new word, we have different domains like people, process, and business related stuff. But indirectly, the process part will take initiating and executing it also in account. So, what do you think? What might be going wrong other than few questions which you saw in initiating and executing space?
I think one of the reasons would be that in my first attempt, I think my planning was not that good. So I paid a lot of focus on planning, though I keep a little bit focus on execution as well. But I think it required some more attention to be paid on the execution part as well. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe that is the reason why, like in my second attempt, I was able to get more in planning, but I didn't went up to the mark in the execution.
Yeah. So
So
one good thing I see is that your preparation is showing results. So it is not like that you are going blank. Wherever you put more attention, you see results. You see an improvement. Now in executing the future exam executing, this is more important now, because lot many of the processes which were in executing before are getting
Mhm.
mapped to people domain, like working with
Okay.
the teams, leading the team, managing conflict, stakeholder communication. So many of those areas, the resource management area, the significant amount of resource management and working with people is mapping to a people domain space. And in my guess, again, it's a guess, that those questions will be more important now.
Okay. Mhm.
Mhm. So that's something we need to focus on, like leadership style, conflict management, motivation related stuff, handling team appraisal, doing team assessment, where the team stand at given point in time. How do you do a strength weakness analysis of an individual? Majorly, I'm talking about HR kind of stuff, and that is a significant part. And earlier it was coming under executing process group, good amount of it. Now it will come under people part of it. So I would recommend you for this time, the human resource and stakeholder need to be looked from people view. Yeah, because that is something was there, working with stakeholder, working with team, and now you need to have a good grip on it. Yeah.
So, sir, the existing material on the Eisenbridge forum, is that sufficient, or will that material will be kind of very revised as per as the new format for the PMP?
Okay, so this is a very important question, and I would say there is no absolute answer to it. Let me show you the document which PMI has presented. Some of you might have seen this document before. What they have done is this is a mapping document of the previous content with the new content. Yeah, so you can say what is technically speaking, the exam of PMP is not based on PMBOK. PMBOK is a preparational material. Yeah? It's a significant amount of preparational material, but it is based on something they called it exam content outline, and this is something like they also call it ECO, exam content outline or something. Now, the new exam content outline has new tasks, and these tasks are grouped under people, process, and business related stuff. Now, this particular document, which can be downloaded from PMI website, I will also share a link in our description of this video. You can see the people domain. So you see a new task, people domain, like manage conflict, and there are some enabler which helps you to manage conflict. And they say align to the old blueprint. So whenever you see an alignment to an old blueprint, you can fairly assume that PMBOK 6 covers it well. Yeah. So the people domain, you see a significant amount. I would say like hardly there will be a less than 5% items which might require, sorry, in a people domain only, I went a little fast. Let me go slow. In a people domain, you can see in the task 2, you have a one subtask, which is new, which is again a servant leadership, well explained in our videos, because we go into little depth into agile related work. Measuring training outcome, this is a small one. So there are few small items only added, but the existing, especially our content, the Eisenbridge content, the people domain is well covered, because we talk about each type of agile team, non-agile team, whenever we talk about it. The only difference is the exam was not testing the agile way of working with people, the servant leadership way of working with people, the self-organizing way of working with people. It was not testing before. Now it will test. So as far as the preparational material is concerned for you, especially when you have used the old Eisenbridge material, the people domain should go good for you, which is a significant part, around 42% of the exam content. Let me show you. That's also mentioned somewhere. Yeah, 42% people, 50% process, and 8% business environment. Now, the process part is also very familiar. So you hardly see anything new in a process part. It's very few things. The 8% part, which is a business environment, this is something new. Yeah. So I won't say that our current program, yeah, the one which we had, right, the past program, I would say now, the past program was covering this business environment well. So business environment has around 8% of the content, and I believe the PMBOK was also not covering it well. And this is something you may need to proactively explore. Yeah, it's an opportunity as well, but this is something, this kind of a topic, you need to do a little research and find out. We are starting our new PMP live interaction, and our PMP live interaction is using PMI content. So what PMI has done it, they have created their own content this time, which is like a PMBOK kind of a book, new book, yeah, which has a lot of content and reference to a PMBOK, but it's a new book which is created in the form of exam content outline. And that book covers everything which is mentioned here. So with the help of book and those presentation, we will also conduct live classes. You can explore if you want to attend some of them. Yeah, that could be the another possibility or a resource you can use along with our existing program. Yeah.
So,
And then there will be a mock test. Yeah. So now in future, the agile oriented questions need to be practiced a little more. Yeah. So we have already added 200 question in our old program as well, because people who are still continuing, they may want to explore that. The new program, we are adding more and more agile oriented questions. So agile perspective answering has to happen. That's the only thing one has to prepare when you are preparing for the new exam.
Okay, so last time when we discussed, I think you told that with the introduction of agile, the percentage of agile question will increase.
Yes,
So
50%.
does that
Yeah.
also means that the remaining 50% will be in this older format, or will the format of the remaining 50 will be as per the new format?
Okay, so in a simple way, you will get around 50% like old question. That's a first answer to start with. Now, in a little detail, earlier we were looking the exam distribution as per initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, and control in this particular way. Yeah, and this particular way questions were coming, and the PMBOK was having their own content of processes, and that was spread across. Now, what they are doing is right now they are saying we will ask 42% related questions, primarily focused on people. So it is not just executing, it is, see, quality related stuff was also in executing. Preparing a lot of reports were also part in executing. Many times managing changes was also a mix of executing and monitoring and control. So there were a lot of stuff in executing which was not necessarily linked with people, but there was some part of it which was linked with people, like resource management and human resource related stuff and the stakeholder related stuff. Now what they are saying is just the people part will be 42%, which is a significant raise. So you can say those areas need to be zoomed in. You need to explore more on that aspects. Now, one is 42%. Now, inside the 42%, assuming we have picked up stakeholder related stuff. Now, inside the 42%, 50% question may come like before, like we will do a stakeholder assessment, we will prepare the stakeholder engagement plan and all those things. Those questions may come as it is, they are mapping to the people. They inside the 42%, the 50% questions may come like the traditional way we have been doing. Now, remaining 50% will give you agile context. So that's what is the plan. As if we are saying, okay, you are working in an agile environment. Now you need to engage with stakeholder. How should you approach about it? More or less, the core remains the same. The only thing is you need to look from the perspective of more incremental, more adaptive, more collaborative way of working. Yeah. So the agile flavor to people will get added in 50% of those composition. So that is the change. Yeah. Technically speaking, as a preparation, the PMBOK 6 also contains good amount of agility, and our videos have been exploring that further. The only thing is those things were not coming in the exam, and I have seen the PMI's questions which they have given to registered education provider as a sample question and saying, you guys can create and take inference from it. They're agile under the type of writer they got to write an agile question. I see there it's going to be improved further, because right now those writers are not touching the essence of agile. They are still not touching the essence of agile. That's another challenge one has to face. But we will get agile specific question, and as you said, many times the question might not be good. We just need to see what best we can pick out of 4 options. And I personally feel that going to happen a lot related to agile questions, which will come in PMP exam, because based on my observation of those 200 questions, their understanding of agile is also emerging. But it's not difficult to find the right answer, but the right answer may not look the perfect answer. It is just better than other 3 answers. So that's a new challenge one has to go through.
Okay, so also when I was exploring online, I found that the PMI is about to release the 7th edition of PMBOK, and they haven't actually officially declared it, but they just shared a kind of blueprint of what to expect in the seventh edition. So my question is that since most of the people, including me, who prepared as per the sixth edition, and suppose the seventh edition comes before I'm planning to give my attempt, so does that mean that seventh will include a couple of new stuff that is not covered in the sixth edition?
Perfect. So what I see personally is, and this is the PMI is doing another smart work. If you see their official statement, they are clearly saying the PMP exam is not based on PMBOK. The PMP exam is based on exam content outline. Yeah, and exam content outline has been already changed. That's they are telling. So it has less to do with PMBOK 6 or PMBOK 7. Now, then what is the use of PMBOK 7? Someone will ask, just throw it away. What I see is good amount of new exam content outline, especially the business related thing, business environment related stuff is not covered in current PMBOK. So I would say the PMBOK 7 release will help you in preparation, because
Okay.
there are aspects which are there in exam content outline which are not well covered in current PMBOK. Other than that, there is no change. So right now you are a little bit struggling because you have old tool, new exam. Going forward, you will have a new tool and new exam. And as per their official statement, exam which starts this month will remain same. Yeah, so there is no change based on PMBOK 7.
So when, in which month they are planning to introduce seventh edition?
I don't think there is an official communication. I do see many people talking about mid 2021 and all those things, but I don't think there is an official release date. I'm not aware. Yeah.
Okay. So the reason why I asked this question is because I thought that since it is my last attempt, so I should at least once again go thoroughly to the PM book guide, and so I just wanted to make sure that I go through a book that is actually make sense in my next attempt. So if six
See, for, for
edition,
for that they have already a book. Yeah, and that book is which is they are delivering as a part of new PMP program.
okay.
So now how does it work? So assuming you enroll to our new PMP program. Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as you enroll, I give you an access to PMI material. And the PMI has, they call it PMI exam content outline based preparation program. From all practical purpose, it's look like a PMBOK. Yeah. And the only difference is it is written in the flow of people, process, and business environment. So the way we have exam content outline, this is the way that particular book has been written. Yeah,
Okay.
and that book keep giving reference to PMBOK 6 as of now, because that's the only thing available. And I say the PMBOK 7 might be a mixture of these two, but from PMI point of view, for exam preparation, the new PMI's material, which is a book and then supported by instructor delivery, is something one has to look at. That is their official understanding for PMP exam preparation.
Okay.
So if you want to do that, you better, we can figure out how we support you. You better enroll to the new program. We give you the access to the PMI material and you get that book then and there.
But since I'm already enrolled to the previous program, so do I need to enroll again for the new program?
Yeah, it's a small incremental stuff because the PMI stuff will come in. So as soon as there is a money goes to PMI, so there is some amount of money has to be paid. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you get an access to some of the questions and other stuff as well. And you also have an opportunity to attend the live sessions. So what the another thing which PMI has recommended with their new changes, that we use new program of PMI and we are also compliant to deliver a live class with that program. So we are doing 5 days program, which will run over the weekends, and where I take you through all the contents in the 35 to 40 hours of duration, one by one. So that's the another feature of that particular new program.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. So So I recently shared you like one screenshots from my PMI like expiry date and the membership date. Did you got that?
Mm-hmm. No, no,
Like
no. Tell me. Yeah.
so, what I have with me is that when I open my PMI login page, it shows that my eligibility for the PMP started like ends on 29 June 2021.
Yeah, yeah. I got your screen. Yeah, yeah. So what is this eligibility?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is
So,
this eligibility?
I'm not sure. It shows that I have
Yeah,
like
let me
around.
tell you. Yeah, so let me tell you. It means the PMP application which you filled.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
through that application only you can, if you are eligible to give the exam till this date.
Okay.
Once that expires, you need to start a new cycle, which means you need to apply fresh.
Okay. Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing is the membership thing. Okay. Okay. So uh, because my membership expires in November this year, and my eligibility expires in June this year.
See, membership is an annual payment. So you keep making payment, it remains active. That's the only
No,
thing
the
they
only
care
reason
of.
is I want to use this to get the discount on the PMP
Yes,
exam.
yes. Now, in order to do that, then you may use the same membership by the June time. I also hear there is no clear information from PMI, but they are giving some special incentive for people to give exam early this year till April. Yeah. So I think this communication is still emerging. We don't have clear all the details, but
Mhm.
yeah, so they were offering some discount or something for this initial duration, because they are also sensing that people are not giving exam. So it something may come up. Yeah.
So, sir, like based on like my current and previous assessment, do you think like I should like wait to give my this final attempt, or should I? Because my the gap between my first and second attempt was barely a month, and now
Mm-hmm.
this time the pattern is changing a bit a lot. So, do you think like I should wait, take considerable amount of time to
Mm-hmm.
like develop with the new pattern, or since you told that this April time we might get a discount, so should I be focused on getting the discount? So what
Yeah.
should my approach?
So one thing is that discounting will just emerge. We don't know exactly what is the plan, but there is a possibility of some incentive. I'm not sure, is it for the new people or is it for the retakers? Yeah. So that's something will emerge. The another aspect is that, okay, how long you should wait to give the new exam? Yeah, that's a question. Now, what is your familiarity with agile way of working? When you went through the videos, have you done some agile certification or something before?
So I just went through the agile part of your course, and like I
Mm-hmm.
have I practiced, like I have done agile in my previous projects, but I
Mm-hmm.
haven't done any official like certification for the agile yet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, now why I ask that? Because it may turn out that PMP exam may become easier for people who have a fair understanding of agile. Yeah, so that's
Okay.
also possibility, because they are bringing agile, and I am anticipating their agile based questions are going to be simpler in nature, at least for some time. Yeah, because they usually they might start with a belief, and even the test writer they have, which
Mhm.
is again the professionals like us only, may not have that much awareness and familiarity with agile way of working, because it's a new thing for PMI, relatively new thing for PMI. They do have a PMI ACP question bank, but that also is a little different than the way we work in a PMP. My sense is the exam is expected to be little simpler, at least for next 3-4 months, because it's a new thing. And say PMI never declares their pass marks and fail marks and all those things, so they have all the privilege to play with it. And I believe whatever threshold they put, the threshold might be at lower side, especially for initial 3-4 months. Yeah. So that's the incentive part. Now the risk part is you need to prepare the things in a new way. You need to look at probably a new book. I do recommend you to look at a new book, which PMI has given as a part of authorized training providers. So ATPs are expected to disperse that. I do recommend that. And I do recommend you look into an agile way of working in detail. So if you can spend that time, 1 or 2 months, I think somewhere in January, February, February should be the good target. And by that time, we will also get some feedback from the early adapters who might end up giving and sharing their story related to the exam.
So, sir, does that mean that so I myself prepared some of my notes for the exam? So does that mean that for this new pattern of the PMP, those notes would be of no use because the way I prepared or made those notes are not aligned with the new pattern of the PMP?
See, what I'm sensing here is it also depends upon what kind of notes you made. But
Mhm.
if the notes were more on calculation based thing, process input output based thing, so I would
Mhm.
say their utility will little bit reduce. Yeah.
Okay.
See, we need to understand the biggest area where you have to prepare is a people domain. You
Mhm.
have whatever you done well, you can assume in a process domain. Yeah. So
Okay.
while preparing in a people domain and executing process group, which is both are interlinked, the people
Mhm.
domain notes and people domain preparation might look little new to you because you are seeing the whole process from a perspective of how to work with individuals, how to create a high performing team, how to lead them, how when to delegate, when not to delegate, what kind of a leadership style would be appropriate, how to work with the stakeholders who are resistive in nature. So those kind of situations are expected to come. Some stakeholders are not attending meetings,
Mhm.
some team members are not attending the agile ceremonies, maybe they give an agile reference also. How do you deal with them? So good amount of issues, conflict, somebody is not following your ground rules. What do you do?
Mhm.
How do you create a team a charter? How do you make people agree to team value? So that part needs to be explored. It was at some extent was there in the resource management knowledge area, and stakeholder engagement part, but we need to see little more details.
So just the question that you brought up. So suppose like the stakeholders or the agile team members are not attending the meeting. So usually like when we have similar kind of questions, the answer is to check the communication management plan and see how to communicate or how to check with them or to check the stakeholder engagement plan and then react accordingly. But if this question is asked from the agile perspective, do you think that answer will change now with the new pattern?
Yes. Now, okay, that's a good thing. So let's take that one of the stakeholder is not attending your review meetings. Yeah.
Right.
So project progress reviews and project reviews demos or something like that, and you are expecting, and because of that you are suffering. Suffering means that the feedbacks are getting delayed, and which is not helping you to find the right path at the right time. So that's the situation. What should you do as a project manager? So one thing is that I look at a project management plan and look at a stakeholder management plan and see what was the expected behavior and what is the current behavior, and I replan the thing. That could
Correct.
be a one of the process. The agile way of working will talk about that. Okay, we need to understand what is making stakeholder does what he is doing. So the whole
Okay.
idea here is I need to understand and find out what are the stakeholder expectations we are not meeting and what are the compelling thing which makes him not attend the review meeting. So before you get into the planning space, it's more about the things which will be promoted in agile way of working is an individual and interaction. Rather than just jumping to a document, we start from individual and interaction, and we'll talk about that. Okay, I want to understand and want to schedule a one-on-one meeting to understand his concerns.
Okay. Okay.
So the agile way of working, the answer which will go first is that I want to schedule an interaction and work with the person. And then maybe it may result into change in a stakeholder engagement plan after one-on-one meeting. It's not like that there is no change required in a plan because we only had a meeting. You have a meeting, you understand what the people really want, and then you may structure that communication in the form of management plan so that it can be followed and worked upon well.
Okay. So I got your point, but like you just now like explained that the people part will now have like 50% agile way of doing
42%.
things,
Yeah, okay, yeah,
42%.
yeah. Yeah, total
So
42%, and out of 42, 50% agile. Yes, yeah.
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 So suppose such kind of question comes, and I have no idea whether the person who would be like or the software is trying to solve this question from the agile point of view or from the older point of view. So
You
what
will
my
get
answer?
you will get a hint, and that is the part you need to practice now. How do you get a hint? The kind of a question, the sample question which are given by the PMIE and all. So hint is that they may talk that you are focusing on adaptive way of working, or you are applying an incremental delivery method in because the time to market is critical. So
Mhm,
they give, you are working in a project where you are continuously taking feedback and improving things, and one of the stakeholder is not attending the review meeting.
mhm. Yeah,
So that's the question. Now when you say that you are working in an environment where you are expected to take continuous feedback and improve the product, so you
means we
this
are talking about
statement
agile.
tells it's agile way of working. Yes.
Okay, okay,
So
okay, yeah.
you will see these hints, and
Mhm,
that's the whole idea, that we practice the adaptive life cycle and predictive way of working, and sometimes a mixed way of working, and see how some of the approaches may vary. Because if it's a predictive way of working, so it's like
mhm,
this: you are working in a large construction project, and the project is well planned for next 3 years, and you have been achieving milestones for last 2 years. Recently what you are seeing is one of the stakeholder is raising a complaint about a particular format of the report or particular way of working.
okay,
Yeah, so you get it's a predictive way of working,
okay, sure, okay,
something like
okay.
this. Yeah,
So yeah, please, sorry.
go ahead.
So does that mean that I have to basically change my way of thinking and approach to answer a question? Because since I prepared from the older format, my first basic instinct would be, okay, this is what the answer should be. But I should always keep in my mind that this is the new format, and I should be also focusing the agile part of this. So then I should rephrase.
Yes.
my answer. Okay.
Yes. And it is nothing to like memorize and all. The idea which PMI is saying is, if you are working in a multi-year, multi-organization, well-defined construction project, you may not have a one-on-one with that guy who has raised a issue and thing. You may follow a process because there might be two vendors in between also, but you still need to take care of that person. But when you are working in an adaptive way of working, where you are expected to continuously interact and learn from the stakeholder, your approach
Mhm.
is expected to be different. So
Okay.
what we are learning as a project manager is that each context is different. It is not a right way or wrong way. We need to see in which context, which way is right. And that is the new mindset which we have to learn as a project managers, not necessarily for PMP alone. As a
Mhm.
project manager, it will help us in doing PMP exam as well as in today's world, because good amount of today's projects are adaptive in nature. And sometimes you may feel, in a PIMBOK, we used to make so many processes and document, and then we used to get started. Now here, everything is getting started on the day one. And sometimes you may feel this is not right because this is not what I have studied. But when we take the whole perspective, we say this is right in a one context, may not be right in another context. If there is some legal compliance, government related projects, and you just get, we need to make something, and if you get started, you might create trouble for yourself and for the company also, because you have not received the clearance, the overall formal go aheads, the purchase orders, and all those things, and you are not expected to touch anything till the time you get that. Yeah, but if you are working in another environment, you are your own company and you have a product development, and there is a customer and he's asking something, you may not do anything, and you may start exploration. Let me explore this idea, and if this idea makes sense, then I will talk to the customer with more details.
Correct. Okay.
So
Okay.
that is
Okay.
something we need to learn in the new exam format. This is my perception based on what I see in that economic, the exam content outline, as well as the PMI book, the PMI's material, as well as
Mm.
the 200 sample question which they have shared.
So, sir, also like earlier we used to have the 10 knowledge areas, and there were a couple of time questions that basically like ask you to judge based on which knowledge area and which process will a particular activity will take place. no, now since the pattern has changed, so does that mean those type of questions won't make like any sense now, but the new pattern, will they have something like similar to knowledge area, or will that complete thing is like removed
No.
with the new
It will be
pattern?
there. It will be there. Now, how it is? So again, 50% is a process. Yeah. So out
Mm-hmm.
of, so that 50% is more or less like before. You did something this, what's next you should do, mainly.
Okay.
So you have a change, what next you should do. You have a report, what next you should do. And usually those kind of a questions get answered well when you can see what kind of a process it was, which knowledge area it is, what kind of a tool I might you have used, and what next I probably end up doing when I get into that situation. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, knowledge area still exists, but now there is more of agile way of doing things.
Yeah. So the 50% of the process area, yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
complete PMP, 42 people, 50 process, and 8% business environment. So the 50%
Correct.
process area is primarily PMBOK oriented, you can say. And it will be mainly oriented about what do you do next, what kind of a tool and technique you use. And inside the process in PMBOK also you talk about agile way of working, and you also talk about non-agile way of working.
Correct. Correct. Okay.
So that part will remain more or less as it is. The people part
Mhm.
will be little expansion of the people related knowledge areas and getting little more content into it.
Yeah. Other
Yeah.
thing is, like earlier, since the previous format was for a long time in practice, so there were a lot of mock questions available, no, mock tests available
I
online.
know. Hmm.
But but now, since the pattern has changed, so I don't think there would be much online like mock test or anything available. So to practice as per the new format, what are the like ways how we can, because reading a text is one thing and practicing the test for the final exam is different thing. So are there any like, I don't know, like I don't think there are currently anything available online with the new like format for the mock test.
Okay. So what I feel is there is no right and wrong answer. I don't know exactly what will happen, but
Mm-hmm.
what PMI has done and what many of the provider like us are doing, and I suspect others might also be doing. So PMI has given us 200 questions, which are kind of showing the future exam style.
Okay.
Yeah. And we are creating more questions based on those 200 questions. So
Got it.
style change and focusing on different areas and all. Now, people like us, yeah, we are creating more and more mocks. Yeah, we are expected to publish multiple such kind of 200 question tests, which are influenced by the new exam thing. Now, real exam, once people start appearing, and I do expect this exam question will also get refined very fast because, as you said, earlier exams, it's a 3, 4, 5 years old, especially PMBOK 6. And even if the PMBOK 5 and PMBOK 6 change was happened, the change was not that drastic. It was
Correct.
very
Exactly.
incremental change. So most of their database was kind of reused, just changing some terminologies here and there. But now they need to do a significant churn up. But there is a good amount of data. A lot of people take PMP exam. So PMI will get feedback very fast. And as a provider, we will also get a feedback very fast. So the providers, if you explore the new content which I am talking about, you will get sufficient amount of questions to practice, and you should not worry that much. Even if in the old format also there were questions, but these questions were good enough to make you ready, but you can't just rely on them and hope that these kind of questions will appear in the real exam. Similarly, the new word also, there are questions and there will be more and more questions which will help you to understand your agile way of working and non-agile way of working. And that understanding should be sufficient to give the exam. Yeah.
Okay. So earlier there was like some kind of percentage about the situational questions and non-situational questions. So is that still followed in the new pattern?
We don't know, but only thing I can say is that even in the earlier the percentage was not well defined. See, when I remember when we were working in PMBOK 5 space, towards the time when the PMBOK 5 was about to get over, there was too many situational questions, and there were very lengthy questions. This big question used to come. And because of that, we end up creating many lengthy questions for our question bank. And when we saw PMBOK 6, those lengthy questions kind of disappeared. And then our mock became a little irrelevant because it was having lengthy questions. Yeah. So it is something, it's a dynamic thing. They keep playing with it based on the number of people attempting those questions and marking well. So we don't know. Even last time also, we were not having clear understanding how many situational and non-situational questions will come. The usual thing which happens is the closeness between multiple choices. So you have a one question, and you have 4 options. In general, 2 options should be easily to remove. There will be 2 competitive options, you are finding very difficult to find out which one will go first, out of those 2. So even if the scenario is there or not scenario is there, this thing is the thing which makes the exam tricky. And sometimes we don't know which one PMI will like. Sometimes both of them might be true in the real world, but we don't know which is more aligned with the PMI way of looking at project management. So we need to find that option. So my guess is initially they should give, there is a high probability they may not create these kind of a close options. Yeah. And because even they are also building some confidence in their thought process and their database. And once this database starts maturing, there is a high possibility of coming up with these 2 close answers in a given questions.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So other thing, well, what I was looking online, that you can even request for a kind of reevaluation of your exam. So does it actually help for like someone to, or like is it just for like self-satisfaction, or does it actually help people to who are very close to the target of passing, of actually passing the exam?
So I have not seen in our database, like we have been doing this PMB thing for last 8 years. So I don't have any client who appealing and then getting some change. See, not succeeding in the PMP exam is also not so common event. Yeah, it is not common. It is might be something which is creating confusion for you, but I can clearly see in a month you could improve in one knowledge area significantly. The only thing is the other one remain lagging. So my advice is not to waste time there. Just get to the things and finish it. Because see, more than I don't have a mathematical number, but not succeeding in PMP exam is an occasional thing which happens in our customer segment. It's not that common, so don't worry that much. It is something you might be missing something while taking an exam, which is not necessarily directly linked to the knowledge. It might be linked to the way you read those options. So when you do the practice test and study now, try to remember your exam experience and see what happened there. What do you recall from your exam experience? And I believe while doing that preparation, you may get the clue. You may get, okay, this is something I was doing wrong. So as you said, in the first time you were not prepared well, in the second time you were prepared little well, and that's why you did good in planning. First you just went ahead and gave. Now we need to find out what is still missing.
Okay. So okay, based on same things, so what I read online, that if you are scoring around like 85 to 87% in your mock test, then there's a high probability that you might be able to clear the actual exam. So is that actually true? Or because based on my experience, I was scoring good in my mock test, so I was in a good confidence that I will be able to pass in my this attempt, but
So I
unfortunately,
would
yeah.
say it is true 90% of the time.
Okay.
90% of the time it is definitely true, and it's very predictable. The only thing is there are situations when it doesn't work. So you found to be you fall up
Yeah,
in that
10% of.
particular 10% situation. Like I was talking to one of the client, and she was also worried, and she was just focusing on our content only last week only. And she came back to me because her result didn't come as soon as the exam finished. She just got a congratulation message, and after that nothing happened, and she was worried what happened. So we were discussing, and she took our mock test one. She scored around 60%, and she was like lost all the confidence, and then she prepared back. Yeah, and did well, and she got above target in all 5 areas, all 5 areas. So now so it is yeah, so it is not directly we can say that there is a logic. Now, why we people give this reference? Because they assume that once you do these kind of long question test, you understand how to find the right answer, how to find the wrong answer, how to eliminate something, how to manage your time. And once you understand how to manage your time and how to eliminate right and wrong options, you will probably do good. Yeah, that's the general belief. On the basis of that, people tell you that yes, if you are scoring good in a mock test, you may make, and there is no clear percentage, 60%, 70%, 80%. We have people who were scoring bad in the mock test but somehow cleared the PMP exam.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Another thing
sometimes
is,
you keep giving the same mock again and again, then you become too much familiarized with that writer thought process. Then you may start making right option for that particular mock writer's thing.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and okay. So other thing is, so suppose so in my first two attempts, I was actually focusing lot of attention on this exam. So and I was keeping other of my stuff like office work and the stuff on side or not paying that much attention because I thought this is very important. But now it's time for me to focus on other things also, other together with the PMP exam. And so do you have a kind of like study plan? Because earlier, like in my first two, I was like, I kept all the things on one side and focused entirely on the PMI exam. But now I cannot, I don't have that luxury to continue further with the same approach. Now I need to have a proper balance with the preparation as well as the other things of like personal and the professional life. So do you have any kind of study plan or any approach to make that balance and still able to clear the exam?
So what I suggest is here is that definitely you need to balance it out. You can't just keep focusing on a particular PMP exam and just not focusing on the office work. Now, how do you manage the balance? The first thing is that you have already done the good groundwork. So you have good understanding what it takes and what it doesn't. Now, how do you go forward? I have seen, and especially this is what worked for me. Yeah, is that I used to focus more on PMP exam during weekends only. I was hardly giving any time during weekdays because it was good office work when I did PMP. And weekends were my focus area. And I used to target around 10 to 12 hours per week. And I used to spend that time usually during the weekends only. So my possible recommendation is rather than making a daily budget of a time, make a weekly budget of a time. You can say, okay, in a week, I should be spending around 10 hours or 15 hours to my PMP preparation. And this is how I will distribute it.
Okay. So, I mean, that's all pretty much from my end.
Okay, so what I suggest is connect with our Jyoti or someone
Mhm.
and figure out how do you possibly access the new content as well. I do recommend you to do that. And I think things will start becoming clearer. And my personal belief is it's a good thing to do a preparation where you are also taking agile way of working along, because that is something is prominent in a business world. So maybe you take this as an opportunity, not just finishing the PMP exam, but opportunity to explore the project management and agile way of working together, and then definitely finishing the PMP exam as well.
But so
Yeah.
based on like on the same thing, I read it like sometimes the PMP way of doing things and way a traditional like a project manager does things is different. So a lot of times it advise not to follow what you do in your work, but try to follow what is as per the PMP PM book. And also like agile, which I might have followed in my previous project, might be not the pure form of agile because a lot of companies make a hybrid or customize based on their like experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I try to
So
follow what I did in my previous projects, it might not be wrong because that might not be the pure form of agile.
perfect. So that's the thing which is true for any project, any knowledge and execution. So there will be always a deviations, tailorings. So we can
Mhm.
say that we have one way of working and we end up tailoring it to something else. And as a project management professional, I am aware that this way of working was recommended for this goal. And this tailoring has been done in order to achieve something we want to achieve. It's not about good and bad. It is about that we have done tailoring. So be aware of those tailoring, and not necessarily you say that this is the way we are doing and that's how it should work. You are saying these are the tailoring we have done because of some of the reasons, and this is how it works for us.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So hopefully see you in the virtual class. Let's see. I
Sure.
work with Jyoti maybe. Yeah. And we figure out how it works.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.